If I feel you getting freaky, I'll get freaky too. Like,
hi everyone, it's Darren from MuchMusic, and today I'm here with R&B artist Charlotte Day Wilson. Just a few months after she performed at Roy Thompson Hall with the Red Bull Symphonic. How was that experience for you these past few months afterwards?
yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I'm still coming down from it. Now I've maybe effectively come down from it. I'm just kind of like relaxing a little bit because it was a really big like undertaking and one of the highlights of my life and amazing opportunity.
You're in your chill now.
Yeah.
For fans that didn't get to see that, don't worry, because there's a documentary releasing on Crave on May 22nd, and it's not just going to be the performance, but also a little bit of behind the scenes content. Charlotte, is there anything else you can tell fans to expect from the documentary?
Yeah, basically, so the doc is directed by Norman Wong, who is an amazing photographer, director in the city. He kind of just like brings us along the journey of what it took to put the show together and the rehearsals and just some of my thinkings around what the performance meant to me. And then we also have like, you know, the sound check the day of, it's tense, and then, you know, the performance itself. So we do the whole concert and kind of interweave between sound check and rehearsals and then the actual performance itself. And he just basically built a really beautiful narrative about what the show meant to me. And then there was also kind of like a moment after the show where it's like I cry way too much in the film, but yeah, I'm really proud of it. It's a great doc.
I saw you mention in the film that you're like, I'm gonna try not to cry, especially during the performance. But you did get emotional.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen, right?
But it wasn't like it was like I almost wish I had just let myself cry because it was like there was no tear.
It was a half cry.
It was like an inside cry. So like I know I'm crying, but no one else does, and I just can't sing. But you know, it's fine. Yeah. It happens.
I want to take it back to when Red Bull first approached you and asked you to be part of the Red Bull Symphonic. What was your initial reaction to that?
I think I saw like an email sent my way, and I had to do a double take. I was like, wait. What? Like, really? Yeah, it's just one of those institutions that feels like if you're welcomed into it, it means, you know, you've established yourself in a way that I feel grateful and proud to have established myself.
What excited you most about the opportunity?
Yeah, just like the opportunity to have these grandiose versions of my songs. It felt like a dream. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what was that process like to rearrange your music so that it could be played with an orchestra?
Yeah, it was basically, you know, so many amazing people went into making that performance happen. So Aaron Paris was the musical director, and I would basically give him the idea of this is what I want to do. This is my idea for whether it was like a cover or one of my songs. And he would bring that to life with like his, you know, kind of like a MIDI version of it, which is just like software version of an orchestra, and then send that to the orchestrators, and the orchestrators would kind of expand upon that and make it into something that would work within all the instruments that we were going to have access to. So whether it was like, oh, well, we actually have an oboe, so let's put the oboe to use. The orchestrators would then also notate the music, and then we would get that music printed, and then we did rehearsals with the band and the choir for about a week, and then we only had the orchestra for the day of the show to practice with them.
Were you nervous about that?
Oh yeah, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we need more time. And they're like, no, this is what they do. They just show up, they read the music, they perform it perfectly, and
wow,
they're good to go.
Well, how impressive of them, and
yeah,
honestly, and you too, to just be kind of thrown into that. How did you build the set list and choose which of your songs you want to play, which covers? How did you select those songs?
I made a playlist called Songs of My Life, and I sent it to Aaron, and I tried to include ones that work in a symphonic setting, and then kind of just finding the ones that worked with each other to kind of tell a story and flow in and out of each other and into the next thing. So yeah, it was a lot of kind of like trial and error, but honestly, shout out to Aaron Paris. He has some different kind of brain for finding how to solve that puzzle, and he did an amazing job.
When you were on stage in that moment, what was it like, even watching it back through the documentary or recordings, what was it like to hear your music with all those instruments?
It was unbelievable. Like, I don't even have words to describe how it feels. It's like, those are my babies. These are things that I have written, and they come from the heart. And to be able to hear a symphony of however many people, I don't even remember how many people were on stage. It must have been, I felt like 100. Like, you know, to hear that many people supporting these pieces that I created for the most part in my bedroom, to hear them come to life in that way was just unbelievable.
Is there a song in particular that really changed when backed by the orchestra, or when you rearranged it for the show?
Yeah, I think Stone Woman, it was just there's something happened during that performance of that song, and the arrangement was just so unbelievably beautiful. Aaron did such a beautiful job. Hearing it live, like there's just, there's this kind of like conversation that you have with the musicians on stage when you're performing live, where like you hear someone do something and it kind of like motivates you to try something different. As a singer, you like hear someone do something beautiful on the piano, and then you're just like, wow, that just inspired me to try something different. And there was a lot of that happening during that performance.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Give us some more behind the scenes intel of that night. Is there anything, because obviously there was so much going on, was there anything that went wrong that maybe the audience wouldn't have noticed?
Oh yeah, but I'll never tell.
Secrets.
There was a
secrets
lot
here.
There's a lot that went wrong, but the show had to go on. Everything happens for a reason,
Yeah.
and so I try to not let mistakes, shake me.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. Like, it's meant to go the way it was
Exactly,
meant to
yeah.
go. There was a line in the documentary where you said, Toronto is a tough crowd.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you feel that way?
Because Toronto is a tough crowd. Like, Toronto is the stiffest crowd. I think people here aren't sure if they're allowed to be freaks yet. You're allowed to be a freak. Enjoy yourself.
Freak, Toronto.
Be a freak. Like, if something is making you feel excited, express that excitement, because guess what? Like I was just saying before, like a live performance is a conversation. It's a interaction. So if I feel you getting freaky, I'll get freaky too. Like, let's all find ways to communicate with each other, because a performance is not just about the performer on stage singing to you. It's about, do I feel the energy from you, and do I feel that I want to kind of reciprocate that? I will say though, the symphonic show, I was worried that the crowd would be like that.
Right.
Maybe that's part of the reason why I wanted to pull out all the stops and literally do a whole symphonic performance to be like, see, don't you like this?
Get freaky.
Show me. They definitely kind of gave me the positive reinforcement that I was
good.
looking for at a certain point.
That's good.
Yeah.
And for artists that may experience a tough crowd, what advice would you give them to overcome a tough crowd in that moment?
Just start performing for the people on stage with you. You never know how the crowd is going to be, but you know how you and your friends on stage are going to be with each other, and find ways to like interact and like, joke with each other also on stage. Really kind of eases the tension of like, oh yeah, this is a tough crowd.
Yeah, you're vibing with people on stage rather than people in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. You also mentioned in the doc that you grew up playing classical music, learning classical music. How has that shaped the way that you make music today?
I think it's in there in ways that I'm not always aware of. It's a funny thing though, because the classical music is something that I had to unlearn a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's a way of interacting with music that's so structured. So for me, I kind of had to learn how to engage with the piano in a way that wasn't like, oh, I play what's written. Like, no, I can actually play whatever I want.
That's really interesting. So for artists that are maybe new, would you recommend that they learn classical music?
If you want to play music, do what calls to you.
Yeah.
I think like for parents who are maybe deciding whether they want to put their kids in classical versus like, I don't even know how else people learn music. I don't know. Just
Some
do
people
it.
YouTube.
At the end of the day, just do it. Whether
Yeah.
it's classical or another way, do it. Yeah.
And you play quite a few instruments. Can you list all the instruments that you play?
I play piano, guitar, saxophone. I can mess around a little bit on the bass and drums.
Are there any instruments after this experience that you maybe don't know how to play that you would actually now like to play?
I've always wanted to play the violin. It's just a good studio tool, I find.
It always adds a little bit of emotion to a song.
It really does.
What do you think is the most underrated orchestra instrument?
Oboe. I don't know if it's underrated, but every time I watch the doc, I'm just blown away by these oboe parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it is the instrument that they tune to, which is cool.
Right.
Kind of, they're at the center.
And you said in the doc that your favorite instrument is the piano. You grew up playing the piano. You even brought out Sampha to play No One Knows Me Like the Piano. How did it feel to bring Sampha out for that song, and why did you choose it?
For me, being on stage sometimes is like scary, and as the main performer, you have to continuously carry the performance. I love when I get the opportunity to just chill for a moment and bring someone else on stage who can carry and add something completely different and new and exciting. And I think Sampha in particular is someone who doesn't really pop out actually that much. So it was a huge honor to be able to have him grace the stage, and I think, Toronto felt that.
Similarly, you brought out Sia Gray to play Lie Down. I loved both those moments because it really did feel like the performance was a curated playlist made by you. So why did you choose Sia Gray, and why did you choose Lie Down?
Yeah, that's my favorite song on her album that she just put out. And she's a friend of mine and someone whose music I believe in so deeply. And she's just a great, weird person. Love her to death.
And then for one of your final songs, you chose to do a pretty epic moment with your song Work. I don't want to spoil it because people might watch it in the documentary, but why did you choose that song to have such a powerful moment?
The way that the song is and how it sounds, it lends itself well to going big or going home, as they say. It's also one that, like, I think sometimes because it's, you know, my biggest song, it's like one that people always want to do at the end of the set, and I always kind of just don't want to do that because I'm just like, well, let's do something different.
Yeah.
Come on, you know? And for this one, I was just like, no, this is a story of connecting the past with the present and honoring the music that I grew up on, also the music that I've written, all the music that I've written over the past 10 years. And that's a song that continues to give me opportunities. It continues to get me paid. It's just like my little workhorse, and I love singing it. I just love the song. And so, yeah, it was just down to kind of honor it in that way.
It was a really great way to close it off.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Is there an artist that you think would be really great for the next Red Bull Symphonic?
Ooh, I would love to see Bad Bad Not Good with the Symphonic. That would be incredible. I've got a few songs with them and a lot of actually new music on the way with them.
And that would be great too if they maybe brought you out and then you got
Yeah.
another opportunity to play with the orchestra.
Yeah. Or we can just tour all over the world with them. And
Sounds
yeah.
great. Is there anything else new coming? Anything that you'd like to plug?
Yeah, I'm actually full steam ahead opening a sandwich shop, just like a nice change of pace. And it's really fun. Yeah, it's called Tutto Panino, and it opens in a couple of weeks. It's in Roncesvalles, and it's Italian deli sandwiches. Me and 3 friends are opening it. I'm going to bring my record collection and play vinyl and just kind of have a nice vibe for the neighborhood.
That's awesome. And guys, I have stalked Charlotte's Instagram, and those cannolis look fire. They look so good. Fans in Toronto or maybe visiting Toronto, go visit Tutto Panino. Go listen to Charlotte's latest album, Cyan Blue. Go watch the documentary, Red Bull Symphonic, on Crave, releasing May 22nd. Thank you so much for being here, Charlotte.
Yeah, thanks for having me.